12th man. Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Week.
It's the grand finale. They don't get no bigger than this. Finish. Finish. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? I know you think that you can move, but can you move the way I do?
Welcome back to the Chick-fil-A Bowl in Atlanta. Happy New Year as we get ever closer to the dawn of 2014. Chick-fil-A Bowl matching Texas A&M and Duke, and coming into this game, the question was, could the Blue Devils keep up with the prolific Aggie offense? That script has been flipped. 38-17, Duke with the lead over Johnny Manziel and the Aggies as we get set to start the third quarter. Here's what happened in the first half. Complete dominance by the Duke offense, Anthony Boone scoring here.
They've had unbelievable balance, whether it's quarterback runs by Anthony Boone and Brandon Connette. They've gone short and deep down the field to wide receiver Jamison Crowder. And their offensive line has taken over. They've been able to run the football conventionally. Here, a long touchdown by Josh Snead.
They've been able to do whatever they want. They've had their will on the ground, through the air. And then on the other side, I tell you what, Johnny Manziel's down. He's thrown. I tell you what, if you wonder about his ability to throw the football, he's proving you wrong if you think he's just a running quarterback, because he's been reading things well and spitting the ball out to his receivers, making plays. His defense needs to get some stops. Usually 17 at the half is pretty decent. Remember, he got lost in possession because of an onside kick. Now he'll get a chance in the second half to see what he can do.
Manziel threw for 199 yards in the first half, ran for 45 more, but he hasn't taken a snap since the 6:45 mark of the second quarter. As David mentioned, Duke scored and got an onside kick, drove down, kicked a field goal on the final play of the first half. And the Aggies are kicking off to start the second half. Texas A&M defense has not stopped Duke one time tonight. Duke has had it 6 times. They've scored 6 times. 5 touchdowns and the field goal on the final play of the first half. And David Cutcliffe, the Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year, is showing why he's accumulated so many Coach of the Year awards this season, leading the Blue Devils to their first 10-win season, trying to make it 11, but still 30 minutes of football to play here at a sold-out Georgia Dome in Atlanta on New Year's Eve. A&M down by 3 touchdowns. Defense going to see if they can do anything. As Devon Edwards fields the second half kickoff, takes a knee. The Blue Devils will have it in the 25 as we go to Samantha Ponder.
Reese, I talked to David Cutcliffe and asked him to explain that fast of a start. He said it wasn't shocking because that's how this team practiced since that Florida State debacle. He said his guys took that game very personally. They knew they were better than that, and they're proving that tonight. He did say in terms of finishing in the second half, they've been one of the best teams in the country in the fourth quarter. They're not taking their foot off the gas. They want to continue to be the aggressors offensively.
And Sam, they lead the nation in fourth quarter scoring margin. Outscored their opponents by 76 in the fourth quarter. First snap of the third quarter coming with Anthony Boone, a quarterback, and Duke. A rare mistake as Jamison Crowder started too soon. It'll be a 5-yard penalty on the Blue Devils. Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, glad to have you with us. Chick-fil-A Bowl here in Atlanta.
Delay a game. Defense, number 1. 5-yard penalty.
I guess he flinched. He flinched to draw Jamison Crowder.
Well, let's see what Harris did, because I saw Crowder top of the screen jump.
See.
Oh, there you go.
I think you should be able to do that, but that's the rule. You're not allowed to be able to flinch, but why you can't move around.
Well, not much has gone A&M's way tonight, and it doesn't to start the second half, as Josh Snead has it. On 1st and 5, he picks up about 3.5.
So Johnny Football needs the ball back. This defense has to find a way to get off the field. In the first half, when they've played big zone coverages, they haven't decided to blitz. That obviously hasn't worked. So I wonder if you just start dialing it up here. If you're Mark Snyder, the defensive coordinator, start taking chances and just see if you can create some turnovers, gain momentum.
Back to Snead, first down Blue Devils. Snead into the open field. Snead running into Aggie territory inside the 45, and Duke's on the move again.
Same old. Pushing around Texas A&M up front, doing a good job. Offensive line just continues. Look at them. You see the left guard pull around Harding, do a great job blocking the defensive end. And there's just, you can drive a Mack truck through these alleys. I mean, these holes are wide open. A&M defenders, they have to get off blocks. Quit running around blocks. Meet contact, be a man, stay in your gap, and play better up front.
First and 10, Snead has it. A little bit better job by A&M that time, pick up of a couple.
And David, I got to be honest, I'm watching this defense. It's very hard to play linebacker at Texas A&M because every snap, you've got one of your own defensive linemen getting pushed into your lap, and if not, there's a Duke offensive lineman chipping up and working his way into the second level, and you're being taken on by a guy that's 300 pounds.
Well, the thing is, with your offense, you're not out of this ballgame. I mean, you could score so quick, and you could score with anybody, so you just need some possessions and some touches. You need to start with one stop. That's it.
We haven't gotten one tonight. Boone firing over the middle, taking a big hit was Crowder, but Crowder held on to it. Howard Matthews has been burned a couple of times tonight. It's Jamison Crowder, but Duke star wide receiver hangs on.
Only 5'9", 175 pounds, but he is fearless working the middle of the field. Look, he knows he's going to get popped, and Howard Matthews obviously trying to atone for the 3 times he got burned in the first half. I'll tell you what, this guy number 3, he's having himself a ball game here tonight.
103 catches, an ACC single season record. He was a yard short of the first down. Blue Devils been good in short yardage tonight. A&M this time makes the play in the backfield, and it'll bring up 4th down as Juwan Thompson is stopped. Jordan Mastrogiovanni was back there, so too was Tony Hurd Jr.
You mentioned it, Reese. The first time now that's happened on a 3rd and short, 4th and short, where they had the chance to make a play. Now Duke substituting their backup quarterback, Brandon Connette, on the field. Anthony Boone also staying, though. Brandon Connette, very multiple. We talked about him being a short yardage goal line quarterback, but he also will play that tight end H-back spot in these situations.
So Connette not lined up to take the snap at the moment. On 4th down. Going to take a shot at it. Boone getting rushed, firing, and finally A&M gets a stop.
I hate that call by Duke.
Amen.
You've been having success all game long running the football down your throat. I know they just stopped you on 3rd and short, but you've got to trust this offensive line that's taken over. I know you're going play action. You're expecting Texas A&M to sell out, but give them credit because they stay home. And now you've given Johnny Football the ball back close to midfield, potentially giving this team a little bit more momentum. I don't like the call.
I don't know what Connette was doing either. Most of the time you release to the flats, he turned his head back inside and allowed Honeycutt to guard him because Honeycutt was playing run to start with, so it kind of looked like miscommunication.
First time in 9 minutes and 47 seconds of game time, Manziel has the ball, and Johnny trying to do something with it. Manziel, the first run of the second half, has a 1st down.
He didn't have to scramble a lot in the first half. You see Johnny Manziel getting a little chirpy here. Yeah, I mean, he's competitive. You know, we talked about him and his emotion and how important this game is to him if this is, in fact, his final game. Making his presence felt here in the first play of the second half.
There was one of those pirouettes, one of those spin outs that
circle button.
He just sees it coming and just feels it and just spins out.
Or B button if you prefer the Xbox. Malcolm Kennedy, an alley. Kennedy spins inside the Duke 45. And he has another Aggie 1st down, and because of the trouble that the Aggie defense has, sort of losses late in the half, the Duke offense wasn't stopped much either.
Block right here by Travis Labhart up front, getting a defender on the ground. That's Cash.
Mike Evans, a quick catch, and Evans, who had a couple of costly penalties, gets down close to the 35.
He's got to get more touches in the second half. You've got to find a way to get a Biletnikoff finalist the football in his hands.
Duke is missing a defensive lineman, Jamal Bruce, on the sideline in crutches. He's their starting nose man. Manziel gets away from 2. Johnny on his feet. Here goes Johnny Football inside the 25. 1st down for the Aggies.
He's got such a good sense of how to skinny up to defenders, and he runs. Watch him run right at the defender a little bit, skinny him up, and then extend out and give himself some space to create. And just he's a magician in the open field trying to bring him down. It's just impossible for one guy to do it.
Size 15 feet seemed to give him extraordinary balance when he's hit. Can't tip him over. And Molina. Inside the 20.
We're seeing the tempo now crank up a little bit for Texas A&M again, getting the play calls in quickly, foot on the gas. Jake Spavital getting the plays in quickly to Johnny Manziel.
On 2nd and 7. Manziel leaps over a guy still on his feet. Manziel, Labhart. Touchdown, Aggies. He's magic.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, this is unbelievable on a couple of different ways here. Watch the fake screen. They're trying to get the outside receiver, Jarrell Walker, deep down the field. You're going to see just kind of stutters. He's open right now for a touchdown. Manziel missed that. Somehow doesn't go down, keeps the play alive, and actually finds the original fake bubble to Labhart. That was wild.
So we've been counting down the top Johnny Manziel moments of his 2-year career. Add this baby to the list. SportsCenter top 10 nominee, and this had better be #1. Manziel somehow gets away from Kelby Brown and finds Labhart. Touchdown. The Aggies are back in it. If this is Johnny Manziel's final game in an Aggie uniform, here's another highlight reel play. Tries to leap over a defender. Duke was worried about the second play. After the first play breaks down, that might have been the second play, the third play, fourth play. And then Manziel goes over to try to rile up the Gig'em crowd. As Texas A&M got hit in the face with a shovel in the first half, gets a stop. It's first of the night when Duke had the ball to open the second half. They score with their first possession. We got a ball game in Atlanta.
Now you go back and you revisit that 4th and 1 play call, trying to throw the football instead of running it. May have just woken up the giant a little bit with Texas A&M, giving them some new life.
By the way, that touchdown catch from Travis Labhart is 3rd of the night, and that is a Chick-fil-A Bowl record. Kickoff goes into the end zone. Blue Devils will have it on the 25. John Magic Bean has put on a show running the ball tonight.
He's been able to create, he's been able to extend. This was the very first play of the half, kind of setting the tone for that drive.
1, 2, 3, 4. And then what is this?
I don't know.
Hurdle, jump on one of your offensive linemen.
Is it triangle button?
Yeah, and then he didn't cross the line of scrimmage, runs back, and now he's telling his defense, dude, you gave me 1. Can I get a few more? Give me 2 more stops. If that doesn't get you pumped up as a defense, I don't know what will.
Now Duke trying to regain some momentum. They keep it on the ground, and busting into the open field is Javon Thompson into Aggie territory, and Thompson's inside the 35. And just like that, as they have all night, the Blue Devils answer.
And again, I'm not trying to pick on this guy. Number 31, Howard Matthews out here, loses contain inside. But it was got to stay outside the play and force that football inside.
But it was a stunt with Deshaun Hall, who comes inside, but he loses his balance. But you got to get to the outside, and Johnny's just going, guys, I can't play defense. You know what? Go play corner, Johnny, or safety. Go get him that D. Try to help him out.
Thompson's now up to 80 yards on the night. Josh Snead has 88. From 34. Boone keeps it. Boone not run through the tackle of Stephen Jenkins.
If you're Duke, just lean on your offensive line. Get back and allow these guys to take the game over. This is a unit up front with a ton of chemistry. Coming into tonight, both tackles, both guards started 26 consecutive games together. And they're not the most dominant physical offensive line in the country. They're not Alabama from last year. But these guys are setting the way and they're paving the way. And that's starting left guard Dave Harding on the sideline right now. The second starter out in this unit. But I'd still be running behind these guys, letting them pave the way.
As you mentioned earlier, right tackle Perry Simmons hurt in the Florida State game, not in this game. Now a couple of reserves on the offensive line for the Blue Devils, as Thompson slams it down inside 30.
And I'd say that's not an area where they're exceptionally deep either. They already have a 6-man rotation, and right tackle Perry Simmons, who had 50 starts as a career, he's out with a knee. So now you're losing another guy, your left guard, who's all ACC honorable mention. Now you're plugging in that's the area that you don't want to be plugging in guys, because that's not an area where you're incredibly deep up front with Duke.
The left guard right now is Cody Robinson, sophomore from McMinnville, Tennessee. Big third down for the Devils. Jamison Crowder. Oh, a beautiful tackle by Hurd, because it looked for a second as if Crowder was going to have some running room.
Tony Hurd's made a couple of plays now in these last 2 possessions for Texas A&M. All of a sudden, you see a little bit more bounce in their step, getting these stops. Simple tunnel screen to Jamison Crowder, the most dangerous offensive player on the perimeter for Duke, but great open field tackle by Hurd.
Great job redirecting. He saw Crowder coming across his face, and he redirected and got him.
In motion, Johnny Manziel doesn't want to watch this one. Is Ross Martin going to try from 48 yards out. A low line drive kick that goes wide left. And the second stop of the second half for Kevin Sumlin's defense. And now the Aggie offense comes back onto the field, a chance to make it a 1-possession game.
The reaction by Kevin Sumlin. Again, this is a very different looking sideline. Johnny Manziel couldn't even watch that kick.
And Sumlin's a guy that doesn't show a lot of emotion. That's a lot of emotion for Kevin Sumlin when you see him on the sidelines.
Now, Kevin's a cool customer, but he reads his team well, understands him, and knows they need a little fire here. And right now, the Blue Devils have taken a shot. Let's see how their defense answers. Manziel complete. Nifty move by Darrell Walker. Walker stopped short of the first down by a host of Blue Devils.
And I think if you have one concern for Duke on defense, it's the youth and inexperience in the secondary. You mentioned at the start of the game, 2 cornerbacks are true freshmen playing a lot. You got a true freshman safety. The other safety's also a freshman. On these scramble plays by Johnny Manziel, when they've got to cover guys for 6, 7, 8 seconds, how's that going to work out? It hasn't been great so far.
Quick out to Kennedy. Malcolm Kennedy hit. Gets across the 40, enough for the first down. DeAndre Singleton, the freshman, among those on the tackle.
And I love when Johnny does that. He grabs the ball and slings it sidearm just to get it out there as quick as he can off of play action. That's one of the things you start talking about him next level, too. He's got a quick release. He can get that thing out of his hand in a hurry when he needs to.
Tra Carson in motion. Manziel wants it all. Kennedy's running out there. Cockrell's chasing it for Duke. It's incomplete, 2nd and 10. Let's check in with Samantha.
We got a change on the offensive line for the Aggies. Left guard Jarvis Harrison looks like he's out for the game, in tons of pain with that right leg. Tried to run, couldn't run at all, grimacing, having a hard time. You'll see in for him right now this entire drive, Garrett Grambling out there.
All right, Samantha, that incomplete pass snapped a string of 9 straight completions for Manziel. Starts a new streak. The big tight end, Cam Clear. We expected to see more of him tonight. First catch for Clear. 3rd down's coming. It's
a nice job of Johnny Manziel allowing the offense to work for him. There was a free blitzer coming off the edge. He knew where his hot answer was. It was the tight end. Easy pitch and catch. Set up 3rd and short.
Manziel throwing. There's Clear again. The big fella still on his feet. Cockrell trying to rip the ball away, but he cannot. And the Aggies are down close to the 20-yard line.
David, you mentioned earlier you love Johnny Manziel's quick release. I love the awkward body throws. Take a look at how his body's contorted here. Throws it on the run to the right. Yeah, to the left. He can contort his body, tremendous control. And again, at the next level, you've got to be able to do that. You've got to be able to negotiate defenders and just get the ball out. Johnny Manziel just has that knack. You can't coach it.
Carson has the corner. Tra Carson inside the 10. Carson into the end zone, and here come the Aggies.
Everything's going right. The running game getting going now. Everybody's fired up. Should do a good job. Mike Matthews, their center, comes around, but if you can see at the top, 15 at the top right here. Watch the block a little bit. Watch a little bit of a grab right here by Travis Labhart. Right there, a little bit of a grab, a little bit of a tug. Tra Carson does the rest. Usually Carson runs up the middle. A little bit of a change, him bouncing it out wide, and Duke fans are going, what happened?
What happened was they finally got a stop or two, and twos in a rhythm. 6 plays, 70 yards, another touchdown for Texas A&M. And with 5:05 remaining in the third quarter, A&M has cut their 21-point deficit all the way down to 7. 38-31. Blue Devils have it when you come back.
From high school to the NFL, football players in the Southeast trust Ortho Carolina for the orthopedic expertise that keeps them in the game. Ortho Carolina's comprehensive network of orthopedic specialists and therapists have been chosen as the official team physicians for an all-star roster, including the Carolina Panthers, helping you get off the sideline and back on the field. Ortho Carolina, you improved.
Chick-fil-A Bowl is brought to you by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase. Applebee's unbelievably great tasting under 550 calories menu. Applebee's, see you tomorrow. And Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
Part of the week-long competition between the two teams, go-kart racing. Duke won that, by the way. Fast start here tonight. We've asked you to send in your pictures from your New Year's Eve parties. Hashtag Chick-fil-A Bowl and hashtag ESPN Watch Party. There's a house divided enjoying the Texas A&M Duke game tonight. So I'm ready to ring in 2014, which is now less than 90 minutes away in the East. Probably saw the shot in Atlanta of the giant, what's going to be a peach. There was some consternation in town because it's wrapped in an M&M wrapper. They were afraid that corporate sponsorship had taken over there, but never fear. They'll be dropping the peach. Kickoff goes into the end zone. Duke's dangerous return game, not with an opportunity to bring it back. Blue Devils will have it on the 25. Capital One Bowl Week continues New Year's Day. The grandfather of them all, the 100th Rose Bowl game, Stanford and Michigan State. Cardinal trying to win the Rose Bowl for the second consecutive year. Sparty there for the first time since 1988. After the 87 season, and there's the M&M candy-coated peach shell. It'll drop, marking the arrival in Atlanta of 2014. Duke and Texas A&M have both arrived ready to deliver some fireworks of their own, and now Anthony Boone's going to have to answer Johnny Manziel. Boone whips it out to Josh Snead. Snead's across the 30. Picks up about 8.5, maybe 9 on first down.
And now the pressure has gone back up again on Duke offensive coordinator Kurt Roper, because in the first half, everything you were calling was working. Now you've been stopped twice in a row. Johnny Manziel and that offense are on fire. You can't stop them defensively. You know you're going to have to score a lot more points here in the second half if you're going to ice this win.
A little bit of a high snap, and coming off the edge and getting there was Stephen Jenkins. Jenkins made a couple of big plays in the second half in the backfield, and now they've forced Duke into a third down.
Texas A&M's been more aggressive, guys, in the second half. Yeah, there's more bodies close to the line of scrimmage, and they've got a lot more guys just moving around. They've been able to make plays behind the line of scrimmage, something they weren't doing at all in the first half.
There's a lot of football left to be played. 19 minutes right now, in fact. But I don't think I'm overstating it to say this is a huge play for the Blue Devils. They need to keep their defense off the field for a few more minutes. See if they can generate something. They're going to have to get it snapped pretty soon. And now running in just before the play clock expires.
30-second timeout, Duke.
The Blue Devils avoid a 5-yard penalty, which they could ill afford at this juncture. Just a few moments ago, Duke had it in hand. Right now, the Blue Devils reeling.
and breaded in our kitchens every day. Our original chicken sandwich.
Seatbelts, headrests, and airbags help you survive a crash. But if you upgrade your headlights, you may even avoid one. See farther, wider, better. Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
We're gonna be late.
Oh, are we early?
Commute your way with the bold, all-new Nissan Rogue.
Mine was earned orbiting the moon in 1971.
Afghanistan in 2009.
On the USS Saratoga in 1982.
Once it's earned, USAA auto insurance is often handed down from generation to generation because it offers a superior level of protection and because USAA's commitment to serve current and former military members and their families is without equal. Begin your legacy. Get an auto insurance quote. USAA. We know what it means to serve.
The road is filled with surprises. Make sure you see them. See farther, wider, better. Upgrade to Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Back here in Atlanta, the Georgia Dome, aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned, making tires that go the distance, inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, David Pollock, Samantha Ponder. Pleased you're spending New Year's Eve with us, and you ought to be happy too, because we've got a barn burner going on in the Dome. A&M's been on fire in the second half. Huge third down play for the Blue Devils. Anthony Boone firing, and he's got his tight end. That's Braxton Deaver. And Deaver's had a couple of big catches tonight, and that one was rather large to keep the Blue Devil drive going.
Love this play call by Kurt Roper. They're going to have Deaver here in the background. He's kind of just hiding as a fullback, just kind of stalking his way out, allowing the play action to affect the linebackers for Texas A&M to suck up. Nice catch and an explosive play.
Stephen Jenkins, number 8, never even looked at the tight end. Looked in the backfield the whole time, expecting run. Tight end runs right by him.
Deaver has 3 catches, all of them longer than 25 yards. He's got 95 yards receiving on the night. Back to the ground. Snead. The 36-yard line.
How important was that first down?
I was just going to say, like, you almost hear a collective exhale coming from the Duke sideline, because not only did you convert the first down, you also flipped the field, putting the football into Texas A&M territory. Now with a positive run on first down, you set up 2nd and 5.
Boone fires. It bounced up. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. John L. Barnes. Acrobatic grab by the freshman from Lehigh Acres, Florida.
Reese, I don't think this throw was to Barnes. I think he meant to hit Isaac Blakeney, number 17.
I don't think it hit the ground either.
It didn't.
It looked like he had his hands on it.
Look, I mean, Blakeney goes up. He's 6'6". I mean, it's hard to overthrow him, but I think Boone did.
Boone throwing to the end zone, trying to get it back to Barnes. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Wow.
Let's go back and show it again, because Honeycutt didn't even think about playing the ball. He went straight for the defender. He tried to get to Blankley, but the back end was interesting because it looked like the ball was kind of. See, look, Honeycutt was coming right in there.
You know, but Jesse, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. That was so overthrown. I think.
You think so?
I think he was throwing for Barnes.
I like the benefit of the doubt there.
Give it to him.
Never the quarterback's fault.
Brandon Connette going to take the snap. He has a touchdown tonight. He's looking for a second one. A couple of Aggies hit him. It'll be 3rd down and goal coming for the Blue Devils. And it's getting a little bit chippy down there. Blakeney just took that big shot as he leaped for the pass from Boone. appeared to be involved in a little extracurricular after the play, and he's having a New Year's Eve chat.
Brandon Connette is still lined up at quarterback. Anthony Boone's out at wide receiver. Keep in mind, Connette can throw the football too. He's thrown 13 touchdowns this year. He's a dual threat as well. It's no guarantee he's running with it.
On 3rd and goal. Give to Snead, and he's stopped. And one of the keys we said before the game, when Duke got the ball in A&M territory, you can't settle for field goals. They've been stopped on downs. They've missed a field goal. Cutcliffe going to take the points, it appears, and make it a 2-possession game. As Ross Martin comes onto the field. You understand why.
Yeah, Reese, that's a win for Texas A&M.
No doubt.
I mean, you got a lucky catch. Duke came into this game 24 for 25 in goal-to-go situations, having scored touchdowns, which is remarkable. Now, they were in the same scenario. You're forcing a field goal. That's a win if you're A&M on D.
Martin, the short field goal attempt, 20 yards out, puts it through. And so Duke puts up the score. Means Manziel needs it twice at least to catch him with 43 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter in what has been a very entertaining 3rd quarter, entertaining game. Plenty of bowl action. Capital One Bowl Week on New Year's Day. A full slate of games across a variety of ESPN networks. TaxSlayer.com, Bowl, Nebraska, and Georgia meet in the postseason for the 2nd straight year. Vegas and North Texas on ESPNU also at noon. Wisconsin and South Carolina, Capital One Bowl on ABC at 1 Eastern. Iowa and LSU in the Outback Bowl. All of those games available on the Watch ESPN app. And as we are anticipating that we're watching Johnny Manziel's final performance in college. South Carolina plays Wisconsin tomorrow. We know Jadeveon Clowney is on his way to the NFL. That way he'll have enough money to pay his speeding tickets, according to Steve Spurrier.
He's back.
Still talking.
He's back. Awesome. Officially, he is back, ladies and gentlemen.
If you missed it, Jadeveon picked up a couple of speeding tickets, and Steve opined that he would have enough money to pay the fine soon. A short kickoff. That was almost a severe tactical error right there by Trey Williams, but he wisely let the ball hit at just the last second. Catch that and step out of bounds. You got horrible field position. Instead, you're going to have excellent field position.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team. Well, he placed him. First down.
So after the out-of-bounds kick, Texas A&M will get it. You see the emotion of Johnny Manziel. Ball will be spotted up to the 40-yard line. And Manziel, there's no question he's the spiritual and emotional leader of this team. And also, one might argue, the entire Texas A&M nation. Certainly the fans are reacting. Johnny getting his team hyped. Yeah, the officials, I saw him walking to the 40. That was the old spot. It should go on the 35, and now they've gotten together and they're moving it back to the 35, and that's where he should be with a kickoff out of bounds.
Just wanted to make sure you were brushed up on your rules, Reese.
Advance it from the spot of the kick. 30 yards, that put it on the 35. And that little quick toss to Quiv Gonzalez, 3rd time they've run that tonight. It's been successful a couple of times. Pickup of about 6 on 1st down.
And again, something Texas A&M Aggie fans can get used to with Jake Spavital calling plays on offense. More creativity, getting different guys touches in this offense here in years to come as the play call.
Molina. Then tackled by Kelby Brown. He's short of a 1st down. 3rd down coming for the Aggies as we're headed toward the 10-second mark left in the 3rd quarter. I think the Aggies are going to snap it or have time as Johnny's taking his time, and the 3rd quarter has come to a close. The 4th quarter is where the Duke Blue Devils have excelled. They lead the nation in 4th quarter scoring margin. They've rallied from double-figure deficits late this year, but this time the Blue Devils will be trying to hold a 10-point lead against Johnny Manziel and the Yankees.
We're gonna be late. Oh, are we early?
Commute your way with the bold, all-new Nissan Rogue.
When I tasted the big juicy steak that's on Applebee's under 550 calories menu, I was all, what the what? Then I tasted the zesty Roma chicken and shrimp, which is also on the under 550 calories menu. And I was like, I can't believe it. Then I told some friends about it, and they couldn't believe how great it tasted either. They were totally, who the, how the, what the, huh? New under 550 calorie Roma pepper steak and zesty Roma chicken and shrimp. Two almost unbelievably tasty reasons to see you tomorrow. Need another reason? Now for a limited time, an under 550 calorie dish is on the 2 for $20 menu.
I give you Hercules!
Tomorrow, Hercules will be but a memory.
Your destiny will take you further than you can imagine.
Hercules, you are the son of Zeus.
You have powers that you never imagined.
The Legend of Hercules in 2D and 3D, January 10th, rated PG-13.
So you can have a getaway from what you know. So you can be surprised by what you don't. Get 2 times the points on travel and dining at restaurants from Chase Sapphire Preferred. So you can taste something that wakes up your soul. Chase Sapphire Preferred. So you can.
When seconds count, the experience of ADT matters.
The alarm initially went off at 12:06. After a few seconds, ADT called me, and the guys were caught by 12:29.
ADT called, and she said, Mrs. White, your carbon monoxide detector's going off. Within a minute, the fire department was there.
The extra seconds that ADT saved me let me save my son and my daughter.
When it's your family, trust ADT Fast Response Monitoring to help protect against burglary, fire, and high levels of carbon monoxide. Now get ADT starting at just $49 with 24/7 protection just over $1 a day, plus a money-back guarantee.
That makes me feel awesome knowing that ADT was that quick.
I still cannot believe how fast ADT was able to relay the information to the officers.
I love ADT. They came through for me. They saved my life.
Get ADT for as little as $49 and save a lot more than money. Call or click today.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Brom, 22nd Engineer Clearance Company, 14th Engineer Battalion, out of Joint Base Lewis McChord, Washington. Wishing everyone back home a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays from Bob Fenty, Afghanistan.
We wish a Happy New Year to all of those brave men and women who serve and protect us, serving their country. Of course, a rich history of the Corps Cadets at Texas A&M as part of the Aggie lore and history, and they see their team down as we start the 4th quarter, and a 3rd down that's converted by Johnny Manziel to Travis Labhart. Those two have hooked up for 3 touchdowns tonight, and the Aggies pick up a very important 1st down. Here is the Chick-fil-A Bowl trophy. Both teams trying to finish their season on a positive note. A&M lost their last 2 games. Duke won its division in the ACC, but got routed by Florida State in the ACC championship game as Ben Molina gets into Duke territory. Johnny Manziel is approaching 10,000 total yards for his career. He's the first man to go 7,000, 2,000 in 2 years of play. If A&M's going to win this game, I dare say he's going to need to reach that 10,000 yards of offensive mark for his career by the end of the night as Molina picks up a 1st down at the Duke 41.
They're so balanced. You got a quarterback that can run and throw. They play 4 different running backs. You got 4 wide receivers that at least had 40 catches and 500 yards. Coming into tonight, you've got a good offensive line. This is a nightmare to stop, and why they're one of only 7 teams in the FBS. At least 31 rushing and passing touchdowns on the season.
Got man coverage on the outside. Looks like Duke's bringing pressure. They could have a chance to make a big play.
And here it comes. Manziel turns it loose. Evans with Cockrell all over him. Mike Evans makes a play.
I think you get sick and tired of sitting back and letting Johnny Manziel dink and dunk, letting them run the football. They get aggressive, play man coverage. This guy's been a monster all year. You single him up on the outside, he's gonna win the jump balls. Nice back shoulder by Johnny. Duke's in a pick your poison dilemma right now because this offense is humming.
Pick up at 25. Manziel over 300 yards passing tonight, and the Aggies are back in the red zone. High snap, Molina. Molina exploding inside the 10, inside the 5. First and goal, A&M.
You're starting to see Texas A&M's offensive line take this game over now. They've had so much more success running the football conventionally in the second half, starting to wear down this Duke front four on defense.
Manziel, they'll never catch him. Johnny Manziel, touchdown Texas A&M, and over the barricade. And Johnny's first one back to celebrate.
And this is just Johnny Manziel with pure speed. He's got a safety, Jeremy Cash, in the box. He's even with him, but Johnny's leaving him.
Cash, the transfer from Ohio State. Oh! Well, let's hope that photographer's okay. I think she took the worst of the collision. Lambo on to kick the extra point. This is making a field goal game. It appeared there was a little bit of trouble with the hold, but it's true, and it's 41-38. Duke scored 38 in the first half. Only a field goal in the second. And Johnny football bringing the Aggies back and hoping for a New Year's Eve rally.
Fiesta Bowl, Central Florida Baylor, New Year's Day at 8:30 on ESPN.
This could be Johnny Manziel's final college game. We've been showing you some of his greatest plays. This moment, number 2, the SEC single season offense record. Set that last year, wrapped the game up against Missouri, and his number 1 moment, I think you know what's coming. The butt fumble that, unlike the infamous play by Mark Sanchez, turned famous against Alabama when he hit Ryan Swope. Manziel led the Aggies to a victory over the then number 1 ranked Crimson Tide, and boy, he has been terrific in the second half.
Where's the hurdle?
The one, we're going to show that in just a minute.
The hurdle's got to be top 5.
The one tonight. I agree. Touchdown pass to Travis Labhart. That might be.
And we might have another one. We might have another one before the night's over if he leads this comeback, which he's been doing. But the numbers, I mean, it's sick. I mean, he's playing a different game than everybody else right now.
He always seems to. You look in the history of the sport, maybe Roger Staubach, Archie Manning, Doug Flutie, Fran Tarkenton, Michael Vick, guys like that. But Manziel is as unique as any player we've ever seen in the college game. And here's the play David alluded to. Game in the second half, started to leap for the run, and then he lands on those size 15s, and Travis Labhart's open, so why not throw a touchdown?
It's amazing just the awareness he has around of where his players are.
And listen to Johnny a few moments ago.
Take it! Take it! Take it, Brian! Take it! Take it! Go!
Manziel exhorting his defense to take it because he wants it back, and the Aggie crowd is starting to sway in this sold-out Georgia Dome. And Duke, which has relied on toughness all season, going to have that toughness tested here in the fourth quarter. Boone being chased. Boone looking, and he'll just throw it away. 2nd and 10.
All of a sudden, this young, inexperienced defense for Texas A&M, I think they're playing with a bit of a swagger here. In the first half, you simply couldn't stop Duke. Now all of a sudden, you've made some plays in the second half. It's almost as if these young freshmen, this inexperience, is kind of growing up in front of your eyes here in the second half.
I think someone, the guy you just saw, and Snyder, the guy you're looking at, got into him a little bit. You could tell in the interview going into the half with Sam, he was furious.
He's ready to start
efforts.
He's ready to start firing people.
2nd and 10. Tony Hurd coming off the edge. Hurd trips up the running back, and now the Blue Devils looking at a 3rd and long.
All the pressure in the world now is on Duke and their offense. because they cannot stop Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M. Facing a 3rd and long, you've got to keep this drive alive. All the momentum in the world is on Texas A&M's sideline. So where's number 3? Where's your best player on offense, Jamison Crowder, lined up one-on-one right now.
Bottom of your screen.
With Devontae Harris.
Crowder's had 8 catches, 122 yards tonight. Crowd noise bothering Boone. Duke's already had to use a timeout to avoid a delay of game. And they got a timeout this time, just before the snap of the ball.
30-second timeout, Duke.
That could turn out to be huge, depending on how things unfold in the last 11:54. Blue Devils clinging to a 3-point lead, and now with just 1 timeout, Manziel hoping to get the ball back.
The 2013 Chick-fil-A Bowl is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. Lexus. The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here, now through January 2nd. And T-Mobile.
He's just been ridiculous. 79 points in the game, 2 teams combined, 998 yards of offense, and even though A&M was down big at halftime, don't ever underestimate John football. 41-38, Duke looking at a 3rd and long. Blue Devils have lost all the momentum. Need to regain it with a conversion here. Boone stands in, fires for Crowder. He's got it for the 1st down. Just as you guys wanted, right to number 3.
And it's a tremendous play, and Texas A&M knew they were going to him. Look at number 25, double coverage on Crowder. That's Clay Honeycutt at safety, was trying to give help to Devontae Harris, but still too good of a route, too good of a throw by Anthony Boone.
That puts us over 1,000 yards of offense tonight. Juwan Thompson has it for the Blue Devils. Tommy Sanders on the stop for the Ags.
This game is awesome. And it's going back and forth, and you get the feeling too, when Duke offensively looks like they're on the ropes, they've come up with big plays on 3rd down. Remember, there's that long completion to Braxton Deaver earlier, and now they get that big catch by Jamison Crowder. Just what a slugfest going on between 2 offenses executing at a very high level.
A&M's defense has come up with some big short yardage stops in the red zone. Otherwise, it'd be a lot worse.
Oh, high snap. Boone corrals it, and let's see, is there going to be a flag come out? He was not outside the box. Deshaun Hall was the one applying the pressure. I guess there was a receiver in the area.
There is no intentional grounding on the play. Receiver number 3 was in the vicinity.
What vicinity was he in?
I didn't see it. Let's see how close number 3, Jamison Crowder, was. So it's not a good snap. Boone probably should have handled it. Hall was all over him. Okay, we can see here. But Crowder was coming back to the ball.
He threw it.
That's like 8-9 yards away.
That's a big vicinity.
A big neighborhood.
So it just jinxed the offense.
It's a Palmer neighborhood in New York.
I just told you about how well they were executing, and they can't execute the quarterback center exchange.
And now
delay a game.
Wow.
Offense, number 7, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And that's a couple times. Clock management has been a problem for Duke offensively. We talked about, hey, this is the first time in the Cutcliffe era they're playing in a dome. It's a lot louder, and it's hard to communicate and hear each other, but you've got a quarterback in Anthony Boone as a junior. He's played a lot of football. He's got to be aware of where the play clock is and keep this offense on schedule.
Can I ask you a question, though? How many of those did he have in the first half? He was dialed in on point. Starts to get a little bit, he's starting to get a little nervous now. You want to get the perfect play. You see what the other offense is doing, taking too much time and letting the clock run out.
I think Cutcliffe thought the play clock started a little soon. It did seem like a short 25. But now Boone's going to have to try to get a lot. He's got his man right down the middle. 1st down, Blue Devils. It's Juwan Thompson out of the backfield.
Juwan Thompson was working one-on-one with the linebacker Tommy Sanders. And Tommy Sanders just falls down. You're going to see him right here, number 3, right in here. Just slips, and that allows the running back to get in from behind him again with their backs against the wall. this Duke offense on 3rd and long comes up with a big play.
I love that Boone takes something off his pitch. He doesn't have to always throw a fastball, just lights it out there and just gets the easy completion.
Thompson has to fight through the hit from Howard Matthews to pick up 2 or 3 yards.
He's run hard, hasn't he?
He has all night. And as we mentioned earlier, Jalay Duncan, one of the 4 running backs Duke used, but coming into the game, their leading rusher has been suspended because of an academic violation. Thompson has run for 92 yards in his stead. Snead's been good as well. Quickly to Crowder. Crowder finding room, changes directions, and a terrific hit by DeShazer Everett keeps Crowder from getting the first down. It'll be 3rd and short.
But I love it. Game on the line. You've got to get your best player the football any way you can. We've seen him line up the entire game on the right side of the formation. That time, he's in the slot on the left side. They throw him the bubble screen, set up 3rd and short.
Need 3, a couple of big conversions on this drive.
Keep your eye on number 89, Braxton Deaver, in the situation right here.
There's the man, right on cue. Braxton Deaver makes the catch, and the Blue Devils move the chains on 3rd down again.
And we talked about Cutcliffe and his offensive ability. This is just, it's great knowing your matchups. Boone doesn't have to look far. He's got a nice little in and out route with his main man, Jamison Crowder, and it makes it easy with Deaver coming in the flats. Easy concept, well coached. Great job by Boone getting it to him quick.
Snead back in the game. Josh Snead gets it down to the 30, pickup of about 3, 2nd and 7 coming.
Eating up clock, which is crucial on this drive. Resting your defense, shortening the game. Still doing a good job. Cutcliffe still looks calm. I don't know if he is on the inside.
This isn't his first rodeo. He's been around Tennessee, Ole Miss. He's coached in some big games. This is the biggest game again in Duke football history. And David, I'm with you, showing that kind of stoic composure on the sidelines with the game on the line.
Snead hit the backfield. Another 3rd and long coming for the Blue Devils. Wallace Wade might disagree with you. One of the biggest games in Duke history back in the olden days, but this is perhaps the biggest play of the night for the Blue Devils because, frankly, look, you take points where you can get them. I get it because you get the ball back. But given the way A&M's been moving it, the last thing you want to have to do is settle for a field goal attempt here.
But I don't know A&M's defense. They can't hold up on man coverage on the outside, so it's going to be interesting to see if they want to bring pressure and how they can cover in the back end.
Can't take a sack if you're Boone. You're in field goal range right now.
Needs 8. Boone deflected but completed, and again it's Deaver making a clutch catch at the 21-yard line. 1st down, Blue Devils.
This has been a clinic on 3rd down offense. When they've needed to have a play, they've got it. And there's Braxton Deaver. We've seen him line up all over the field, working the middle, the soft zone, and the anticipation on the throw again, guys. Boone getting rid of the ball before his wide receiver or his target is able to turn around.
And he turned his shoulders out to the outside just a second. You see, to create that avenue in there for the defenders to bite. They got to use their eyes and make sure they're not biting the chump because he does such a good job with his eyes.
Blue Devils have converted 4 3rd downs on the drive. 13th play. Boone throwing it, pretty much throwing it away. Thompson was running out for it. Deshaun Hall was applying the heat on Anthony Boone.
This has been a very impressive drive for a lot of different reasons. Not only on 3rd down, keeping the drive alive, eating clock, keeping Manziel on the sideline. If they could pay it off with a touchdown and get this back to a 10-point game, then this has just been masterful. But it all comes down to execution and the hardest part of the field to execute.
Boone, complete. Running toward the end zone and getting close is David Reeves. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown, Duke. David Reeves with just his 3rd catch of the season.
He's not often used. They kind of lined him up as a flex tight end there, and just a bad tackle here by Devontae Harris.
Oh,
he stays in.
The heel doesn't come all the way down.
But does he keep staying in, though, is the question.
Green. Touchdown.
Wow. Masterful drive. That is how you draw it up. A 14-play, 75-yard drive that took more than 6 minutes. They were legendary on third down.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
You know what's amazing is he actually, there's two spots of the replay to look at. The first part is when he catches it and he doesn't put his heel down. He actually looks, watch Reeves look at his heel. He looks down and doesn't put his foot down because he can see himself on the sidelines like, nope, not putting that one down. And then tight ropes it up. The balance.
Do you know how hard that is to do?
He's 6'5", 250. That's a big dude.
All of his body weight is going out of bounds, and he was somehow able to stop that. That's just tremendous athleticism. He's in bounds right there.
Yeah, I see green between his foot and the out-of-bounds line.
That was shown on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, they're showing it up on the big screen, and the roar you're hearing from the Duke fans as they realize it's going to stand. And the great effort by Reeves to extend the ball inside the pylon to give the Blue Devils
touchdown.
The score and what we said.
Replay confirms the ruling on the field that the receiver reached the ball over the goal line, tried to go out of bounds. Touchdown.
Jeff McConaughey confirming the touchdown. Reeves with his first touchdown catch of the season, and it could not have come at a better time.
Right foot inbounds barely. And then the awareness to stretch now it's dangerous, stretching the football, because he had no idea what was coming back from inside on the defense, and ultimately it pays off.
He had about 4 instances where he's going up the sideline where he's got less than an inch of grass. You always talk about being a game of inches.
It's a game of millimeters. And the lead is back to 10 for Duke, trying to win its first bowl game since the 1961 Cotton Bowl. 48-38, and perhaps another nominee for the Sports Center Top 10. This one courtesy of David Reeves as the Blue Devils are up 10.
The 100th Rose Bowl game.
Celebrating his 9th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed more than $3.4 million in scholarship funds. A lot of extra points, a couple of field goals, actually 3 of them tonight. 48-38. Duke just answered with a brilliant 75-yard drive that ate more than 6 minutes off the clock. And now Johnny Manziel gets it back, down 10, 6:46 to go. Trey Williams bringing it out. Williams tries to get away from Devon Edwards and can't do it. And Edwards perhaps saved a huge return from the dangerous Williams. Capital One Bowl Week continues New Year's night. Ought to see some offense in this one. A couple of really good quarterbacks in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. UCF and Baylor. Blake Bortles zooming up mock draft boards right now. Todd McShay, Mel Kiper both think highly of him. Bryce Petty's put up huge numbers for Baylor. Both teams looking for their first BCS win, first BCS appearance in the final year of the BCS. Coverage begins on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern Time. 86 points tonight. Chick-fil-A Bowl record. Manziel. Malcolm Kennedy makes the grab in Duke territory. Gets out of bounds at about the 47-yard line.
Johnny Manziel again showing you his ability to work through progressions. You see here getting a little chippy. We've talked about how this game is getting more this way in the second half. There's a play fake to Molina. He wanted to go to Evans here on the slant. It's not open. Works all the way back across the field and throws on time. Impressive. Very impressive.
Johnny's thrown for 338 yards and 3 touchdowns. Molina. Knocked down at the 45, pick up the 2.
A lot of football left, guys. 6 minutes, down 10. With this offense, they can score in a hurry. Very important here, though, they come away with points somehow, some way, make this a one-possession game.
A&M has all of its timeouts remaining. should they need them on defense, depending on the outcome of this drive. Duke bringing pressure. Manziel firing deep. Walker's out there. Darrell Walker running under it. He's got it. Touchdown, Texas A&M.
Well, you think you need 2 scores, so you're in trouble. Time running out.
Minute 2 seconds.
Minute 2 seconds, no problem. But look at the air Johnny Manziel puts underneath this football. He sees man-to-man coverage, but look at high and deep. Don't worry about his arm strength. Dude, that's dropping in the bucket, too. I mean, I could have caught that, and I'm not even athletic. I mean, that shows you how...
You're athletic.
But I'm saying it shows you how great number 2 throws the football.
Back to within a field goal. There is a flag down across the way.
Defense, offside, nose guard, penalties decline, extra point is good, timeout.
So the pressure moves back to the Blue Devils, if nothing else, to just keep the ball out of that man's hands. Johnny Manziel fighting to the end. If this is his farewell performance, it's been a brilliant one, but will it be a winning one? Back to Atlanta after this. Capital One Bowl week continues New Year's Day with the 100th Rose Bowl game. Two of the best defenses in the country, Stanford and Michigan State. Roses for everybody. Stanford trying to win the Rose Bowl for the 2nd straight year. Coverage begins at 4:30 Eastern Time, New Year's Day on 4:30 on ESPN. You can see it on the Watch ESPN app. And we're about 34 minutes away from that peach in downtown Atlanta, hitting the ground and ringing in 2014. But why would you watch a peach drop or a ball drop when you can watch John Football spin the magic bean and try to finish the season with a victory and perhaps finish his college career with a win? But not to be outdone, Anthony Boone of Duke has been terrific, and Boone will get it back. His team up by 3. He'll start on the 25 after the kickoff goes into the end zone. Manziel's been responsible for 5 touchdowns tonight. He's thrown for more than 7,800 yards in his career, run for more than 2,100, and he's just 11 yards away from the 10,000-yard mark.
He's played 2 years, and this is why, from a legacy standpoint, he's one of the all-time greats. It's must-watch TV. His style of play is just so unique, and arguably having a tour de force performance, what very well may be his final game in college football.
Look at the yards both teams have put up. You would expect that, though, with 93 points scored. Duke has 48. You don't feel as if it's enough. Boone going to try to get it all back in one throw. Crowder just overshot him.
Texas A&M has been a lot more aggressive in the second half. On this last play, they've got all 11 guys 8 yards away from the line of scrimmage. They are inviting Anthony Boone to take a shot, and he barely misses Jamison Crowder on that throw.
And you got to take your chances at this point. Obviously, you got to get the football back. And if you're going to make them throw deep balls, that's obviously a lot higher or less percentage. So at this point, you got to stack the line of scrimmage and give them the deep ball if they want to try and convert it.
And him showing pressure. On the ground, Snead picks up a few. 3rd down coming. Tony Hurd making the tackle. By the way, SportsCenter has started over on ESPN2. O'Brien and Texas, you see the lead, have agreed to a deal, meaning that Penn State will be in the market for a head coach. Bill O'Brien apparently moving to the NFL to take over the Houston Texans, a story that Adam Schefter and Chris Mortensen reported a few days ago. Duke has been perfect on 3rd down in the 4th quarter. Led to their only touchdown of the second half. They need 5.
Deaver and Crowder have been their men. Both lined up down low so they can work together.
Boone firing, complete is John L. Barnes. Anthony Boone has been terrific. He's approaching a 400-yard night through the air.
Talked about Manziel working progressions. What about Boone? Wanted to go to the right-hand side of the screen. Nothing there, and quickly, very quickly, the intent to the catch. Understanding where to go. You see Kevin Sumlin saying, man, can we get a third down stop?
Those quick looks he does just makes the defense react, and he opens up those little windows. I guess we have been loving on Johnny Manziel, but he's been playing a heck of a game.
Boone's thrown for 390 yards and 3 touchdowns. There's no better quarterback coach than David Cutcliffe. Mannings will tell you that. Josh Snead picks up 4 on first down as the clock winds down toward 4 minutes to play.
A young defense that was gaining confidence early in this half, but I think that last drive, you wonder if that maybe broke their back a little bit. All the big third downs they gave up, and then the missed tackle that led to a touchdown. Tick, 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 tick. You've got to make a play. You've got to get the ball back now. Somebody's got to step up here.
That stat about Duke outscoring its opponents in the fourth, a testament to their toughness. Boone, firing, picked up! Tony Hurd going the other way! One man to beat, and he does! Texas A&M has the lead! Tony Hurd Jr. His first pick of the season, and Mark Snyder's defense gets a pick 6, and the Aggies have the lead for the first time tonight.
Tony Hurd Jr., the guy who decides to step up and make that play for this defense.
Duke in disbelief on the sideline. That is the 100th point of the night. And the Aggies, once down by 3 touchdowns, with 3:33 to go, Tony Hurd Jr. on a night where the defense has been drilled as he's being congratulated by Arvald Lofton, the president of A&M, makes a great play against Barnes.
This is really one of the few times tonight I think Anthony Boone made a poor decision. He had Isaac Blakeney wide open on an underneath shallow route right over the ball. He chose to work outside to Jonell Barnes.
So look at that catch. I mean, that was, both guys met at the ball at the same time. And Hurd just wanted the ball more and looked like the receiver going and get it on that play, and the Texas A&M defense. Coach Snyder, finally, we make a play.
And with all the offense, guys, more than 1,000 yards tonight. That is the first turnover. And what a costly one it was for Duke. What a huge one it was for Texas A&M. But, as we just talked about, Anthony Boone, despite that interception, thrown for nearly 400 yards tonight. Duke has moved the ball for much of the evening at will, so there's plenty of time here down 4.
Ironically, this might be the better situation for Duke on offense. If you could go down the field and score with as little time left as possible with the touchdown, not give Johnny Football an opportunity, you can walk out of here with the win. They've been able to put long drives together, but they're going to have to be sharp.
Bertolet, who has lost the place-kicking duties, Lambo has not lost the kickoff duties, and he hammers another one deep into the end zone. Blue Devils will start on their 25. There have been a number of top plays tonight. Not crazier than this one. Another one for the Johnny Manziel resume reel, Travis Labhart. Then the tremendous catch by the man who just had the interception taken away from Jonell Barnes. David Reeves, his first touchdown of the year and just his 3rd catch. And in the latest moment, a rare defensive play in this game coming from Tony Hurd Jr., a senior from Missouri City, Texas. Rolls double nickels 55 yards on the return to give the Aggies the lead, and now Duke trying to pull it out. Boone, quick pass to Crowder. Crowder picks up a couple.
This is a situation where you'd love to have all your timeouts, but guys, how big is it that Duke's already had to burn 2 of those because of poor clock management in the second half? Only 1 right now in their back pocket. Will that come back to burn them in this game?
Boone firing, getting his hands underneath the ball and making the catch is Max McCaffrey.
Did he catch that?
The official across the way says yes, they're moving the chains.
It looked like from the backside, the other side, it might have hit the ground. They're reviewing it.
Ruling on the field of a completed pass is under further review.
McCaffrey, name familiar among receivers. He's the son of Ed McCaffrey, standout Broncos wide receiver.
I think it's harder to see from this angle. When you show the other angle, the ball's coming out, and then he controls it, I think, initially. But see, did that hit the ground there?
No, sir.
Wow. The first time, right when he pops up with it.
That's incredible.
What a great
Did it hit the ground?
How he trapped that, I think with his right hand, doing his best impression of his dad.
Was it on the ground there when it first hit?
I don't think so.
I don't think so,
he
David.
Traps it with his he traps it with his left hand. Again, you need inconclusive video evidence to overturn this call. It was ruled a catch.
You can pause it right there. That hits the ground right there. That looked like it hit the ground.
Yeah, maybe it did right there.
Right, if you stop it right there.
There, that hit the ground. But the call on the field, you know how the refs are. They don't want to overturn themselves.
Coordinator of the replay officials for the American Athletic Conference. Al, as you're taking a look at this, what do you see?
See the ball. I want to see control. I want to make sure that there's control. I think stands is the proper call here.
Did the ball hit the ground, though?
Jack Kramer is our replay official tonight. Did you think there was enough video, Al, to prove that the ball hit the ground?
No, I
being
don't.
controlled?
No, I don't.
So Al believes if this call is going to stand.
What do you think, RD?
I think it should stand. I don't think there's enough evidence there. Ball's on the 40 with a first down right now.
After further review, the ball hit the ground prior to the receiver catching the ball. By rule, that's an incomplete pass. The third down on the 28-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 3 minutes. 3-0-0 on the game clock.
So instead of 1st and 10 on the 40, it's now 3rd and 7 on the 28. David?
And kudos to the refs, because they don't want to overturn themselves. I clearly think the ball hit the ground. It was close, but I think the ball hit the turf when he cradled it.
Maybe he did, but the question is, did he have control of it with the elbow, which is, Al's legal for him to have control with the elbow, is it not?
That's correct, as long as he pinches it across next to his body.
They need another one of these plays from Anthony Boone. Perfect tonight on passing on third down opportunities.
And he's also converted his last 5 chances. 10 for 10, 121 yards, 7 first downs on third down opportunities, and boy, he needs one here.
Jamison Crowder, Braxton Beaver in tandem, lined up close to each other at the bottom of the screen.
Boone eludes a rusher, firing. Crowder has it. Did Crowder stay on his feet? He's still running, and the officials are blowing it dead. The Duke fans are going nuts. But they are marking Jamison Crowder down at the 49-yard line. However, Boone's still perfect on third down, and it's another conversion.
And it was his knee was close, I know, but it looked like his elbow he put on the ground. He definitely came back, caught the football, but
knee down.
Right elbow, I think, down too.
Yeah. But that, again, heck of a play, heck of a catch.
This sounds crazy.
What's crazy?
I don't know if that's the worst thing for Duke, because you don't want to if you give the ball back to Johnny Football, he's going to score. So the ideal scenario is you score with as little time left possible in this half. I just don't see them winning if they give the ball back to Texas A&M.
Boone over 400 yards passing tonight. Got some more to Deaver. Deaver inside the 45 before he's knocked down. Clock inside 2.5 to go. Matthews on the stop.
And it will be interesting to see A&M's approach, because if you feel that way, you can bring, well, not only can you burn timeouts, you can bring more pressure. You can afford to be a little bit more aggressive, because you know if you give up a touchdown, then you still got your guy on the sideline. But if you sit back, it looks like you're going to get picked apart.
And they're bleeding the clock, Duke, right now. They are not in a rush.
No pass
Boone
rush again.
has a man. McCaffrey can't hold it. Another third down coming for the Blue Devils. Devontae Harris on the coverage.
Very curious to see if he got there early. Certainly Duke and McCaffrey want the pass interference. He got physical outside. Take a look here. Yeah, he goes through his back early. I think that should have been PI.
So McCaffrey doesn't get the benefit of the down on the replay call and doesn't get the call he should have had there.
And guess what? Another third down for Duke.
It means Boone's got him right where he wants him.
No doubt. Look at look at Cutcliffe, how stoic and calm he is on the sideline.
That gut's churning inside for David, though, I guarantee you that. Boone on third down, fires it into traffic, it bounced around.
Guys, he had his hands all over Crowder. We just talked about the call of pass interference that they missed, which was a lot closer, but Crowder was absolutely getting mugged by Shazer Everett when he came across the field right there.
That's two.
In a row.
Now, was that ball tipped, though?
Yeah, it was.
It was tipped.
Jay Arnold, the true freshman defensive end, dropped out of his stance and got involved in that. I thought he might get a chance to intercept that ball. Boone got lucky, so here we go.
Here's the ball game right here. 4th and 4. Aggies showing pressure. Boone underneath, complete, first down, Duke. Brandon Braxton making the grab. Clock stops to move the change with 1:48 to go.
Another example of Anthony Boone under control. Watch him point out here to the left. He knows where the pressure was coming. He did beforehand, so he knows where his hot answer is. It's the tight end. Guys, the reason Cutcliffe is so calm and poised, he knows his quarterback's in control.
Duke keeps hope alive. Boone looking for Crowder. Wants it all. Crowder knocked away in the end zone by Everett.
And Crowder's been having a heck of a day, but Everett did a great job. Man-to-man coverage on an island. Look at him looking at the football the whole time. Jumps up in the air and gets it before Crowder has a chance to be able to jump up and high point. That's a heck of a play. That was a man on an island.
That's payback for letting Jamison Crowder smash him in the face on that block earlier in the game.
What'd you call it? Music?
Face music.
Heat coming. Boone tries to avoid it. He throws it away. It's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Askew. The former receiver turned linebacker makes the biggest grab of his career. Everett, who just knocked away the pass from Crowder, was the man applying the heat to Boone, and Boone, who played so brilliantly, throws a late interception.
That time, Anthony Boone did not see the pressure. Here comes to Shazer Everett, who just broke up that last pass to Crowder on a corner blitz off the edge. Boone was late. He didn't have an answer early trying to throw it away. He tried to get rid of it late to his running back, Shaquille Powell, for a pick. Johnny Manziel understands. It looks like he's almost a break down in tears right there. But what an emotional game this has been. For them, for him, unbelievable. And this defense, this young, inexperienced defense, it's certainly given up a ton of yards tonight. It's had some key moments and opportune times late in this game. Remember the pick six earlier by Hurd Jr., and now that play on the corner blitz. Wow, what a game, guys.
And who would have thought, with the awful play in the first half by the Texas A&M defense, and it would be the Aggie defense that ends up saving the day with a couple of interceptions, the pick six by Tony Hurd, and the ceiling interception by Nate Askew as the Aggies will go into victory formation. So the question is now this. This indeed is Johnny Manziel's last game. What's his legacy, in your judgment? Most exciting player of a generation?
Yeah, and this is just, Johnny does it again. I mean, this is, I couldn't think of a better way for him to go out. His D just gave up 48. He was down huge, and he comes back. Look at his numbers. His numbers are great. And every time Cutcliffe and Duke put up points, Johnny had a response. Johnny had an answer. And it was an amazing performance to cap off one of the most amazing, fun-to-watch careers we've ever seen in a 2-year span.
We were all very lucky as college football fans to watch him play. Maybe this isn't his last game, but truly one of the greats. Only played 2 years, a style all his own, brought Texas A&M back to national prominence. They're now the team in Texas, but guys, he's a celebrity, legit. As much as any big pro sports name, LeBron James, Tom Brady, he's a brand, Johnny Football. And whether or not you're an Aggie fan or not, if you're a college football fan, we've been lucky to watch him play.
Someone Getting the ice water bath.
He got ice water. You notice that?
He didn't get Powerade, huh?
He didn't get the colored stuff that will stain his shirt. He still looks perfect, doesn't he?
Yeah. When you're wearing white, he informed us before the game. Let's make sure it's water,
Still
fellas.
looks great.
It is now time for tonight's Capital One Player of the Game, and I imagine that you have a very good guess as to who that might be. Johnny Manziel, and what it is widely assumed will be his final game, though not official yet, at Texas A&M. Brings the Aggies from 21 down. Couple of big plays by the defense as A&M wins the shootout 52-48. That'll be official in about 20 seconds. And we would be remiss if we didn't bring up this. This is a heartbreaking loss for a Duke team that had a terrific season and played brilliantly for much of the night. Aggies just made a couple of plays on defense in the second half. Blue Devils were not as effective on offense in the second half. Johnny Manziel finishes his career 11 yards short of the 10,000-yard mark, but never short in moments, never short in highlights. And he gigs them one last time, perhaps, as Texas A&M wins it 52-48. Aggie wore him playing in the background. Manziel being surrounded. Samantha Ponder trying to get close enough to have a chance to talk to Johnny, perhaps, to Kevin Sumlin after a thrilling Chick-fil-A Bowl. What a way to ring out 2013. Samantha Ponder's with Johnny.
Yes, I am, Reese. Johnny, how would you describe the emotional progression of that game?
You can't even begin to describe how that game was. 38 to whatever it was at half. So the guys, don't look at the scoreboard. If you look at the scoreboard, you might as well not come back on the field with me. Don't look. This game is 0-0 from however bad it was. Doesn't matter. We're going to fight. We're dogs. We don't care. We didn't care what the score was. We kept fighting. I'm so proud of them.
What was the difference in this team between the first half and the second half?
We just came back and got some momentum on offense. Defense did a great job coming out and helping us out through the first few drives that Duke had. Gave us some momentum and got us the ball back. We felt like we shot ourselves in the foot the first few drives, and we were really doing some good things.
Obviously a team effort out there tonight, but a lot of people watching, assuming that this may be your last college football game. Have you decided if you'll make the trip to the NFL draft this year?
I can't even think about anything other than this game right now. This was unreal. I can't even begin to sit here and tell you how proud I am of these guys. I love Texas A&M. I love my teammates. Unreal.
Johnny, what would keep you at Texas A&M, especially after an experience like this?
This guy and all these teammates I have here. I love them more than anything on the face of this earth.
All right, I'll talk to this guy then. Congratulations, Johnny. Coach, at halftime, a little frustrated, for good reason. How would you describe what your team was able to do in the second half?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry for being short with you when I came off the field.
You were just fine, Coach.
We had a discussion at halftime, and we weren't very proud of how we were playing. And, I can't be happier for these seniors. 11 games, only 14 teams. First time we've won 3 consecutive bowl games, back in 3 consecutive years. That's something they'll never be able to take away from this senior group. And for us, we got so many young guys out there. I think it just showed the spirit because they didn't quit. And, they're sure we got to get better, but I couldn't be happier for this group of guys to finish off this year the way they did.
Some of the defensive struggles were obvious, but down the stretch, some huge stops, the pick 6 by Tony Hurd Jr. What did you learn about your defense's fight tonight?
Well, we challenged them at halftime, and we challenged everybody. And as I said, as a coach, the biggest compliment you can have in a situation like that is the guys didn't quit, and they executed, weren't perfect, but found a way to win the game. And to do that, a team's got to stick together, and it took everything. They stole 2 possessions with us with a blocked punt and an onside kick, and we had to figure out a way to get it back. Fortunately, Tony Hurd made a huge play, probably the biggest play of his career.
Coach, you sure kept things interesting for all the viewers out there tonight. We appreciate your time. Congratulations on this season.
All right, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Reese, we'll send it back up to you.
A new year will ring in 12 minutes, and it'll be a happy one for Kevin Sumlin and the Aggies. Coming up next, we'll bring you the post-game trophy presentation presented by Capital One. That is on ESPN3. Our final score in the Chick-fil-A Bowl, Texas A&M wins it 52-48. Our terrific Thursday night primetime crew working on New Year's Eve here in Atlanta. Thanks to them, best in the business, did a great job. Sports Center's coming up just around the corner. For Samantha Ponder, David Pollack, Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis saying good night from Atlanta. We're back in a moment on Sports Center.
This is Sports Center Live.
Down 28-3 at one point. It looked like A&M wasn't going to win this game, and they might get smashed. David Cutcliffe, the Duke coach, said in preparing for this Aggie team that Johnny Manziel there's never been a guy that's been better at ad-libbing plays, and that's the play that obviously you've been talking about, we've been talking about here as we watched it. And in the end, it looked like Duke might beat A&M worse than Duke beat Elon in basketball. Instead, Johnny Manziel, in what we presume is his last college football game, did exactly, John, what we thought we thought he might, and entertain us in a way that very few ever have.
We'll see the play again from many angles as a new NFL head coach and top 10 plays of the year. But first, we got to go back to Atlanta. Reese Davis, what a show.
What a show indeed, guys. 52-48. You ring out 2013 with your basic 100-point performance for both teams. Johnny Manziel throwing for 382, running for 73 more, accounting for 5 touchdowns. And the Aggie fans hopeful, wishing maybe somehow, some way Manziel will decide to come back for at least one more year. If not, what a way to go out. We expected Johnny to just ball out, and he really did that despite falling in a big hole early.
What's new? I feel like we see him do this each and every week. He loves the big stage because it gives him the opportunity to be the star, and he was absolutely that again here tonight. Arguably maybe his tour de force performance and maybe his last game in college football. He was everything to his team tonight, not just on the field with respect to the execution. And we saw him very accurate all game long. I still can't describe what just happened on this play, how he was able to keep his feet. But again, he just makes these plays routine, and I think that's his greatness. Made some plays in the running game, was very accurate in the passing game. Simply one of the greatest players in college football history.
Yeah, and I think even more than that, he was motivating his guys on the sidelines. He was getting in his defense's face, saying, listen, let's go. We're going to pull this out. You got to make plays. We got to do this together. And I think that's something that a great leader does. You have to be able to inspire. The defense had no reason to have confidence, Reese. They were getting pummeled the first half. It was embarrassing. One of the most embarrassing performances and a half I've ever seen in football. They turned it around, got a few stops, got them to kick a few field goals, and the next thing you know, they make the big pick 6 at the end, and then A&M wins the ball game.
Yeah, then Nate Askew is one of the better athletes on the team. Never really quite meshed at receiver, so they moved him to linebacker, and he came up with a game-sealing interception. So as bad as A&M's defense was, they ended up making the game-saving plays. But make no mistake, A&M's not close in this game, if not for the leadership and the virtuoso performance of Johnny Manziel. You go back over the history of college football and you think of the great individual game-changing quarterbacks. You can date back to Roger Staubach or Archie Manning, maybe Fran Tarkenton or Doug Flutie, Michael Vick, Cam Newton in the modern era. None of them, I think, even as exciting as they were, none of them were more magnetic or more captivating than Johnny Manziel.
No, I don't think I've ever been disappointed when I've turned on a game that Johnny Manziel's played, and he's always done his part. Listen, there's a lot of quarterbacks across college football that's afforded the opportunity to play with a really good defense. He's never had that. He scored 40 in 14 straight games, and they're losing 3 or 4 games in that span. So he's a player that's had scrutiny off the field as much as anybody, with all the Twitter and everything that comes along with what he did, and a defense that wasn't at his back all the time and was still able to come out and meet every expectation every single time.
One of the greatest of all time, must-watch television. His style of play was just simply unique. The legacy at Texas A&M, he brought them back to national prominence, kind of where they were in the 90s under R.C. Slocum. Became a brand name again, the team in Texas. But as an individual, even off the field, guys, how often do you see college athletes transcend the sport? He was a legit celebrity to the same level as guys like LeBron James and Tom Brady. He was Johnny Football. He was his own brand, and I said this at the end of the game. Whether or not you're a Texas A&M fan or not, if you were a fan of college football, you were lucky to watch this guy play. Maybe we're done watching him in college. Maybe it's time for him to take his game to the next level, but God, would we ever be lucky if he could come back just one more year.
Yeah, and the thing is about this team is a long way off from being able to beat an Alabama team a year ago. They shouldn't have beat Alabama. They shouldn't have had a lot of the wins they've had. He's put the program on his back and helped this job for Kevin Sumlin and A&M moving forward to make it a lot easier because they're getting better recruits. They're building a filthy new complex. Everything is on the uptick because of this guy and what he was able to do. It's a team game, and he's got great players around him, but he's definitely been the guy that's just been making you go, wow, for 2 years now.
There was a recent story that said that perhaps Manziel winning the Heisman Trophy and becoming a big star, the value to Texas A&M have been overestimated. I would contend that you cannot put a price tag or cannot put a value on what Johnny Manziel has meant to Texas A&M and by extension to college football. Don't know if it was the last ride or not, but if it was, what a performance. Aggies win at 52-48.
I've always liked him. I've never not liked John football. Before the SportsCenter shows, we have meetings. This was back in September. I said, this is the star of college football. We can't talk about him enough. And two, NFL owners watching that video right there of him signing his face, high fives, motivating. I don't know what GMs and scouts, but as far as owners, they're salivating, thinking bringing this guy into an NFL team to wake up a franchise that needs woken up.
Right, and we'll hear from Todd McShay later to project. And how do you project? Because some team that needs just what you're talking about, a shot in the arm. I don't care what his measurables are. We did a piece for Game Day. I don't know how tall he is, but he ain't 6'1". No. All right, his measurables may be one thing. Somebody that needs a shot of adrenaline in the arm is going to draft number 2, and they're going to benefit one way or another.
Dude can play. Dude can play. That's my scouting report.
Reese Davis just mentioned he would ball out. He did. For a while, it looked like Duke might win by 100. Let's show you what happened in the Chick-fil-A Bowl.
Cray.
Johnny Manziel walking in. What's you gonna do? We do football. All right, calm down. Manziel early, looking for Mike Evans. This guy is going to be a highly drafted pro as well. Sort of a Vincent Jackson type, 6'5", physical, can't deal with him, but he got a little bit animated tonight, got some flags. That backed him up. They missed a field goal. All right, here comes Anthony Boone and Duke. And let's not sleep on what Boone did. He was sensational at quarterback for Duke. Hits Josh Snead, Devils up 7-0. Manziel, and this is a scene we saw early. You got the sense that he got the sense that his squad just wasn't there, sleepwalking, trying to get them up and motivated because Brandon Connette, another quarterback for Duke, one that runs quite capably, takes it in, 14-3. And what's going on? What's going on is your defense is lousy, and that's been what they are all year. He's needed to bail them out. Here, Manziel misses Malcolm Kennedy. And this is after Mike Evans has got another flag. He's over there imploring, I got to have you, 13. Early second, Aggies down 21-3. Manziel finds a wide-open Travis Labhart. I said a moment ago when we just came on the air, 28-3, wrong, 21-3, but you get the point, A&M down, and they're down more after this. Boone. Where's Trent Dilfer? That's a dime.
Oh, straight sauce.
A perfect pass to Jamison Crowder. It's 28-10 Devils. Duke's 5th drive. 5 drives, 5 touchdowns. Snead sets up a great block from one of his wideouts. You can see 3 giving him a sign as if to say, come back this way and I'll get you to the end zone. And that's exactly what happens.
That's great stuff.
Crowder, not just a diva out there catching it, wants to help his man out and showing his strength there with some push-ups. 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, onside kick, get the ball back. Looks like they're going to get 42 in the half. They have to settle for a field goal after Isaac Blakeney's tackle just short. It's 38-17 at the half. Earlier in the day, Duke playing basketball against Elon. They had 35 in the first half. You see, they have a comfortable lead there, too. 35 in the first half. Football outscores basketball in the half, 38. But Johnny Manziel wasn't done. This is the play that will show forever.
What was that?
Down. I don't know. It's a hurdle. It's 2. Maroon. What do you want me to tell you? That's Labhart again. Touchdown. Another look. Looks like he's thinking, okay, if I can find some space. Okay, there's no space. Then he jumps back out of the way. Duke defenders are falling out like bowling pins. And Manziel gets the Aggies back into it. Top 10 nominee, you think?
Thanks, Tips.
Thanks for the help here. We've done this before. Manziel says, show me love. Show us love. Let's stay in this game. And it wasn't all Manziel. Here, Tra Carson, the big fella. Get those shoulders square, 2-1, and get out of the way if you're a Duke defender. Manziel and the Aggies going berserk on the sidelines. Early fourth. It's a 10-point deficit. Manziel to the corner. And it's a 3-point deficit now. Everybody's all right. Johnny comeback. Seems apropos. This is what he was doing all night long. Begging his team. Defense, can you give me a stop? I beg of you. Here, no. Boone hits Crowder. 3rd and 8. Juwan Thompson. On 3rd and 11. 3rd and 3. Boone. Rolls right. Finds Braxton Deaver. One more again. It's Deaver. Another first down, and as we mentioned, Manziel was sensational. Boone was remarkable himself, and here, David Reeves looked like he stepped out of bounds 3 or 4 times, but he did an amazing job keeping just the toe on the ground and the heel off of it. So it's a 10-point Duke advantage once again. And now it's the Duke players saying, hey, we can jump and yell too. A lot of folks involved in this game on scholarship, not just you. Made in New Year! Manziel, Terrell Walker, A&M back within 3. Next Duke drive, 3rd and 5. Boone, John L. Barnes, another 3rd down conversion. And Sumlin's just thinking, I know the defense has not got a lot. Can you give me something? Can you give me something? Oh! How about this? Here comes Tony Hurd Jr. to the paint. Gig 'em Aggies. They're out in front. 52-48. That's their first lead of the night. And Manziel again. If this quarterback thing doesn't work out, he can be a yell leader. Boone. Crowder on the sidelines. Ruled down. And you'll see that accurately called, yes, accurately called.
Go with Bob.
All due respect, I don't know if a Duke fan can cry about not getting a call. Boom to Brandon Braxton. Drive stays alive. Then Nate Askew here. Boone's just trying to get rid of it. And the irony is, on a night when their defense could do nothing at all, it's the pick 6 that gives them the lead, and it's this pick that ensures that Manziel, if this is the end in College Station, will walk off the field a winner and leave this as his document. This is what I was capable of when I played college football. Wow. He was the first freshman to win a Heisman Trophy, the 2 highest total offenses seasons in the history of the SEC. One of 5 FBS players with 20 passing touchdowns and 20 rushing touchdowns. You can read. The last one is one of 6 FBS players with 3 grand passing and a grand rushing in a single season. I'm out of breath. Coming up, much more. The press conference. He's going to be asked again, is he going? He'll say no. Todd McShay on his stock. We'll show you that play again from every angle. Are you not entertained?
Breaking.
Imagine, given the NCAA sanctions, he was fantastic there. Penn State will transition in what direction? Who do they look at first to try to fill his pretty significant shoes?
Well, Scott, you're right. Now, keep in mind, just a couple of years ago, Bill O'Brien kind of came from off the radar. You know, there weren't a lot of people talking about Bill O'Brien, and you're right. He obviously exceeded expectations. So, once again, there are some logical, obvious candidates. Now, Mike Munchak, we're not sure what his future with the Tennessee Titans is, but he was certainly a strong player in this last time, and he is a former Penn State player. James Franklin, Scott, you know, he's the hottest coach in all of college football right now. Likely to move from Vanderbilt, should be in the mix at Texas. He's a Pennsylvania native, and certainly I believe he would listen to Penn State if that call came. Greg Schiano, the former Penn State assistant, wanted to stay in the NFL, but obviously that's not happened. He's been let go from Tampa Bay. He's an attractive candidate. Jim Caldwell, Ravens offensive coordinator, former Penn State assistant, former Colts head coach, certainly fits the mold of the things that are at the top of the list in terms of integrity, sincerity, humility, ability to coach offense. Those are the things that they looked at when they landed Bill O'Brien. So Those are some of the people that they're going to look at. Greg Roman, Pat Narduzzi, 49ers, and Michigan State. Maybe those are names that could emerge too. Joe,
when I knew we were going to visit with you here, I just started scribbling down names. I wrote down Al Golden, and when he was at Temple, there were those that thought that, like Greg Schiano when he was at Rutgers, that he would love to perhaps someday succeed Paterno. With Golden down at Miami, having gone through what he's gone through and theoretically coming out of the tunnel now from underneath the weight and the clouds of those NCAA question marks, would it theoretically interest him if Penn State were to call now?
There was a time where, of course, Al Golden's dream would have been to be the coach at Penn State. I mean, a guy wears a tie on the sideline, but most of the people I speak to think that that time has passed. And I think you're right. The biggest reason is he just helped steer and navigate Miami through NCAA sanctions. And even though Penn State has gotten some scholarship relief and there's a possibility that they might get one of the two remaining bowl bans back, does he really want to go from one situation to another? I mean, certainly, you know, Penn State might be interested, but I don't think it's highly likely.
Thanks for being with us. We'll talk to you soon.
Happy New Year.
Yep, you as well.
Coming up on SportsCenter, more on the play. Johnny Manziel's live news conference. Also look back at some of his greatest moments. And what were they saying on Twitter about the play, the body surfing 360 play? Bill O'Brien, what are his now former Penn State players saying about his departure from Penn State to the NFL? And what a game in the NBA, the last day of the calendar year, and the Thunder and the Blazers give us a show. Happy New Year, America. Come on.
As a business owner, I'm constantly putting out fires. So I deserve a small business credit card with amazing rewards. With the Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I get 2% cash back on every purchase every day. I break my back around here. Finally, someone's recognizing me with unlimited rewards. Meetings start at 11, Cindy.
Get the Spark Business Card from Capital One. Choose 2% cash back or double miles on every purchase every day.
What's in your wallet? I need your timesheet, Larry.
You like it?
Yes.
Critics are raving about The Wolf.
It's on a whole other level.
4 stars.
That's what I'm saying.
The best movie of the year.
Can't tell you how excited I am. You should be.
The Wolf of Wall Street. Rated R.
Whoa there, big spender.
Each of these was just $1.
Your Rodeo Crispy Chicken Sandwich was just $1? And my Rodeo Burger?
Just $1.
Try the new Rodeo Crispy Chicken or freshly fire-grilled Rodeo Burger for just $1. Part of the new King Deal's value menu. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Made a new year. I'm going to do that 100 times more for you East Coasters. So this play, how it plays out on Twitter, because that's how we live now. We don't live in the real world. We live to say things to people we don't know on the internet. Trent Dilfer, Johnny Football, enough said. You had Bryce Harper from the Nationals saying that's all you can say about it. Stud. Steeler running back Jonathan Dwyer. OMG. That's typically what the young ladies say. The fellows sometimes too.
Time to retire there.
OMG. Did that just happen?
Oh, more Trent.
Dilfer, this kid, already keeping up NFL defensive coordinators up late, trying to figure out how to stop a pocket passer that will shred you with instincts and feet. That helped spark the comeback. Show me love, everybody. Show me love. Love all the way around. Duke really, really played a great football game, their quarterback particularly, but afterwards it was Manziel who enjoyed the win and had some thoughts at the podium about the night.
First and foremost, on the behalf of all these guys up here and all my teammates, thank you all so much for coming out and supporting us. Unreal. 12th man, we love each and every one of you. I'm so proud to be from Texas A&M and call myself a fighting Texas Aggie, baby.
That's good stuff. Who is the highest scoring team in the NBA?
The Trailblazers.
Yeah, 108.6 a game. Tonight, hooking up with Oklahoma City, who averages the third most points in a game. This should be fun. Thunder 14-1 at home this season. They have the best record in the NBA. They might have the MVP. This would have been a great point guard matchup. Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard. However, Westbrook out through the All-Star break, dealing with that knee. So let's go check it out. It was a good one. Again, right now, you could argue this man would be at the top if there was some sort of MVP formula.
Come on.
I'm just telling you, Scotty, because he can...
he's my favorite player. He's not better than LeBron James.
He can rock the suburbs just like Ben Folds does.
That's a fact.
He can crunk like a party. And he can hit from all over the floor. His team's got the best record in the NBA. 16 points. I think the gold balls are good balls. Red is a miss. Meanwhile, he's also expanding his game. Rebound, chest pass, Wes Unseld style. Google him, kids. Later, leading the break. 3-on-2, that is a perfect bounce pass to Serge Ibaka. 2 of 3 crispy granny apples for Kevin Durant. Then Durant, pure and simple every time. First Thunder Supersonica player to have 30 points and 10 rebounds in 3 straight since the saucy Spencer Haywood. LaMarcus Aldridge. This dude is just nearly unstoppable. He is tall and thick. Trailblazers down by 1, but Nicholas Batum hits the 3. Underrated. Trailblazers by 2. Durant and the Thunder down by 3. 8 seconds left. He was clearly grabbed before that ball was inbounded. 2 hands around the obliques. Not called. Just 2 shots. First one good. Second one not good. Ibaka misses the tip to tie. Durant the somewhat 12-foot bunny to tie. Not gonna do it. Portland wins a big one on the road.
I think that was a heck of a game. That was like a playoff intensity game in December. It was a great, unfortunate we didn't come up with the win, but it was a good game. We did a lot of good things well. The first half, I thought our defense and our offense was really clicking. In that third quarter, I thought we didn't come out with the right mindset defensively. That gave them some confidence, and with 29 points. And then we turned it over a few times, critical moments of that second half. But overall, it could have been anybody's ball game. We didn't do a great job of making plays at the end. And then, they made some, so give them credit.
Houston, very good at home. Sacramento, Rudy Gay, Boogie Cousins, tough team to deal with. McLemore here off the miss. My man James Harden got a bid like a billy goat off the window. 38 points for him. Look at that thing.
And you woo.
This is gross because there's nothing you can do with that. That's a fadeaway jumper. It's 104-101 late. Boogie Cousins is a problem because he's enormous and he's gifted. Had 17 and 16. They are down 1 late. Isaiah Thomas feeds McLemore, miss, but there's Cousins, who's looking for a foul call, doesn't get it, but hits the bucket. Sacramento, who beat the Heat, what was that, last week? Here, Cousins, because Harden just doesn't think that the big man's ready to play defense, gets it picked by Boogie. Outlet pass to McLemore, it's 107-104. Then Harden, he gets every call, okay? Every call, except that one. Offensive. Sacramento goes on the road and gets a win. More on the night in Atlanta. Duke was sensational, but A&M was sensationaler.
Yep.
McShay on where Manziel goes.
Allowed. Tensions are mounting down here in screening. We're trying to put together the top 10 plays of the year. We need your help. Hashtag SC Top 10 for your nominees. Remember that DeAndre Jordan house party? Hello! Our boy Ruda, no relation to Luda, tweeted in, nothing can beat the monster posterization alley-oop from DeAndre Jordan on Brandon night. How high will it be in our year-end top 10? Find out.
His comedy entertained millions of Americans, but his compassion saves children's lives worldwide. When Danny Thomas founded St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, he showed that the greatest reward is giving back. This holiday, test drive a new Mazda, and we'll pledge an hour of our time to a local charity. Buy any new Mazda during the Mazda Drive for Good event, and we'll donate $100 to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital or these charities. because giving back is the Mazda way.
What is focus? It's a wondrous sensation of clarity and alertness. It's owning your opponent. It's knowing beyond a doubt you've got this. It's keeping your head down, your eye on the ball, and knocking it out of the park. It's getting in the zone. It's keeping on your toes, on target, on top. Focus is staring the world in the face and saying, bring it. Focus is power. Focus is life. And 5-Hour Energy is focus.
It's that clown that's been dating my sister, little man Smurf.
Maybe he just wants into the family.
I know exactly what he wants.
You want the hammer? Then go get the hammer.
Okay, enough of that nasty.
I want to ask your sister to marry you.
Show me that you deserve her.
How am I supposed to do that?
I'm gonna take you on a ride along.
How's it going? Met the damn devil today in the form of a child. What's up, little man?
What's up, little man?
What, you about 3'10", 3'11"?
Yeah, but you know what I'm gonna do. Grow. What you gonna do, stretch?
Rated PG-13.
Hey, man. Hey. What's with that crazy hat?
Oh, you didn't hear? Outback's giving away free bloomin' onions when the SEC wins the Outback Bowl.
Oh. Because I heard they were giving away free coconut shrimp when the Big Ten wins.
You look ridiculous.
I look delicious.
Yeah, you do.
Come in January 2nd to get your free bloomin' onion or coconut shrimp. Whether your team wins or loses, everybody wins in the Outback. That's no rules, just right.
Celebrate the new year with 6 free at Joseph A. Bank. Buy a suit and get 2 suits plus 2 shirts plus 2 ties. Absolutely free. That's almost every suit in the store. Buy 1, get 2. Plus 2 casual shirts or dress shirts plus 2 silk ties. Absolutely free. Now through Wednesday at Joseph A. Bank.
Sports Center, brought to you by Burger King, where taste is king.
Your Miller Time moment. Johnny's 21 now. Enjoy. Take a guess. Yeah, that one. Jesse Palmer said he doesn't even know how to describe it.
Yeah, it's like a mosh pit body surf.
It's just, yeah, exactly. Come up with a name on Twitter. Get at me.
The Vault.
At not the fake SVP. Big games. Johnny Manziel delivers. 2 bowl games. Here's what he's done. Completed more than 72% of his passes. Racked up 971 yards of total offense. Passed or ran for 9 touchdowns.
ESPN NFL Draft Insider Todd McShay joins us now on the telephone from Pasadena, California. And Todd, Johnny Manziel, his performance in the Chick-fil-A Bowl overall, how does one game affect a scout's mind? And overall, what do you see John Manziel as he appears to be pretty healthy in this game tonight?
Yeah, you know, I really don't believe that one game changes a player's scouting report, if you will. There are great opportunities out there, like we saw with Teddy Bridgewater going up against an SEC defense in Florida in a big-time spot in Sugar Bowl, and I think that really helped validate him. But with Johnny Manziel, we've seen him against great competition playing in the SEC the last couple of seasons, and we know what he can do. And really, we know what he is. On the positive side with Manziel, he's a special, unique talent. He really has a rare ability to improvise and create after the initial play breaks down, and you cannot overlook that, and that's why I think there are teams that are legitimately looking at him in the first round. Now, on the negative side, he's undersized, and for durability reasons, that's a big concern. There's concerns with ball security, and then there's the intangibles, which I think really boils down to teams wanting to know, is this the first guy in, last guy out type of guy? Is he someone that is interested solely in football or in all of the other stuff? It won't be a surprise at all if he's a top 10 pick, but there's still a lot of questions that need to be asked with Manziel.
Let's talk about some other quarterbacks. UCLA, Brett Hundley. Size is not a concern anymore. He moves well, nice size overall. What do people like about Brett Hundley, and how high could he go in this NFL draft?
He has all the tools, John. He really does. I mean, he's got the size, the arm strength. I think he's a natural, accurate passer. He just has natural accuracy in terms of anticipating throws and being able to place the ball where he wants it to go. I think the decision-making is not there yet. I really believe that Brett Hundley should go back to school for another year. He could benefit so much. You know, if I was advising him, that I would just say one more year, continue to develop, learn coverages a little bit better, get your offensive line healthy so that you can showcase your skill set a little bit better.
For someone like Blake Bortles, could a big game like this, a national stage game, you mentioned one game doesn't matter, but for him, could that be a little bit different? Could he really change some minds or affect some minds with a good performance?
Watching him, nothing seems to faze him, and that's part of the reason why I think he legitimately, if he decides to leave early, could be the first quarterback taken. He's got the size, he's got sneaky mobility, if you will, kind of like a Joe Flacco or Ben Roethlisberger. He's got good accuracy. He can cut down on some of the forced mistakes, but other than that, there's just not a lot of holes in his game. The clutch factor is huge with Bortles. If he shows up big one more time in a big spot, it's going to be hard for him to turn down the opportunity. Again, he could very easily be the first quarterback off the board ahead of Louisville's Teddy Bridgewater.
NFL Draft Insider Todd McShay. Happy New Year, Todd.
Happy New Year, Todd.
The Miller Time Moment is brought to you by Miller Lite. Rally the crew for some highlights of your own.
New on Sports Center moments ago, Kevin Sumlin and Jonathan tackle football at the podium.
We missed a bunch of one-on-one situations, I thought, and you know, the play-action pass got us some deep balls and some missed tackles, and we just had a little bit of a discussion at halftime about doing your job and not trying to do everything, take over the whole thing in one big chunk, but play each play with do your job, be accountable, and be accountable to the next man. And you know, as a coach, I think, you know, you get to the greatest compliments you can be given is if your team plays hard and doesn't ever quit. And that kind of leadership comes from the locker room and the guys who are on the field. And these guys, you know, what we talked about at halftime was don't go back out there unless you thought you were going to win the game. And obviously, you know, that belief and looking each other in the eye and counting on the next guy, I thought, you know, I couldn't be happier to win and accomplish. Sorry about my voice. Accomplish what these guys, these senior group has accomplished. Something that they'll never be able to take it away from them. And you know, it's a story that really has set the tone for this program, this group of guys, and win 20 games in 2 seasons, moving to a new league, getting a new coach, just the whole bit. It's a tribute to the players.
All right, questions right up here.
Johnny, you seem to have a meeting on the sideline with some of your receivers. Can you tell us what that was all about, what you said, and what their reaction was to that?
Yeah, just the whole thing all night was just don't quit. And when we got down really big, the main thing that I kept stressing to everybody, offense, defense, special teams, kickoff return, whatever it was, just don't look at the scoreboard. Don't look up. Don't even peek up there. There's no reason to do it. The game is 0-0. Let's see how things go. I kept trying to reiterate that to them, that we worked hard and we fought all year. And specifically talking to the offense, I said, especially to the O-line, it all starts with them up front. So I said, you guys are dogs. You've worked hard all year, and then you're the strength of our offense. We need y'all to start pushing some guys around and making some things happen. I think they did a great job. And with the receivers, I just said, continue to make plays. We're close. We're just a little bit off, I felt, in the first half, and we settled down and stopped really pressing. And I don't know how many incompletions we had in the second half, but it wasn't many. I know that. One.
Okay, right here.
Johnny, if this is it for you, could you have scripted a better way to push the close?
I don't know. It's an unreal feeling. I know that. I know that the way these guys fought is unreal. How proud I am of them. to come back from that, biggest comeback in school history. Wow.
Right here.
You got the C on your chest. You don't want to lose to this team. Could you have scripted a better way, for you to go out, as a leader, one of the primary motivators of this team?
I mean, first and foremost, I want to take my hats off to my coaches and my teammates. We had a lot of adversity in the first half, and we found a way to bounce back. Ending my career the way I did at Texas A&M is a great feeling. It's just it's a blessing.
John, can you walk us through that improvised touchdown play in the third quarter?
Yeah, we had a little play-action bubble pass out, and I didn't get a very good look. Darrell told me that he was open. It was an easy touchdown, but I guess the way things go with me, I like to make it a little bit harder. When I left my feet originally, I thought I was in trouble because I looked down and somebody from Duke was staring right up at me laying on the ground. And then from there, I just kind of, I don't really know what happened, just kind of shot backwards and bounced off of somebody, and then got out of there and looked up and saw Lab sitting wide open.
That's coaching.
All right, here we go. All right, right here, Gary.
Yeah, for the coach and for Johnny. Were you guys surprised at all? You guys were pretty heavily favored going into this game, and all of a sudden you find yourselves way down. I mean, was this kind of a shock?
I thought, I'd said all week, and I told these guys, you get to this time of the year, you don't have bad football teams. And you don't beat Miami and Virginia Tech, Carolina, and win 10 games. Luckily, David Cutcliffe and staff do a great job. And that is a really, really well-prepared, well-coached, well-disciplined football team. That being said, you give them credit for their execution, how they played, how they came out. I had a little meeting with everybody. I think it's called a meeting. I thought we pressed early. I think we were just a little bit off, and they were on. And that's a tribute to how they approached the game, and they were prepared. So, it's I don't think surprise would not be the word. I've said all week, anybody that you guys don't know me that much, but guys are around me, if I say that I think that team's good, I'm gonna tell you. If I don't, that won't come out of my mouth.
For me, I think the biggest thing was that when I came away from that game, and I'll speak about this forever, is I think that team plays with more heart than anybody in the entire country. I think those guys that they have on their team, they play for Coach Cutcliffe, and they play for their coaches and their fans and their university harder than maybe anybody in the country. It really was unreal to see how much fire and how much passion, how much energy they did having come into that game. But it's a real credit to them with how they played today. It was pretty darn good. Biggest thing that I kept stressing.
Joining us now on SportsCenter, as we just heard Johnny Manziel talking about the passion that Duke displayed. Kirk Herbstreit with us now. And Herbie, as you watch this game tonight, we saw so much passion out of Manziel trying to implore his team to get back in it. Then that play, which he couldn't describe, that Coach Sumlin said was coaching, to a lot of laughter there. A lot to pick from tonight. What stands out for you about what Manziel did?
Well, first, Happy New Year, bud.
Thank you. You as well.
I think we all were, as we watched this game, to me it's the last time you'll see Johnny Manziel in an A&M uniform. And so I think we were anxious to see how he would go out. You could tell early, as his head coach just said, they were pressing early. I think he was anxious. I think he was anxious to go out on top. He wanted to send a kind of a great memory for his fans. And I think and you saw the emotion on the sideline with he and Mike Evans there early in the game. And I think Johnny made a great point, too, about Duke coming together as a team, playing with a lot of emotion, playing for Coach Cut. But I think the story of the night was Johnny Manziel and A&M not giving up. You had a team that was down and out, looked like the game was out of reach. And what a great lasting memory if that was the goal of Manziel, to give his fan base something to remember, because that was one of the better comebacks we've seen in the bowl games in recent memory.
Herbie, his career feels like a comet streaking across the sky. To steal from Buccigross earlier, he was talking about that. It's a relatively small sample size that we got to see, but what will your memories be of what he did in college football, especially given that A&M was joining the SEC and he showed up right as they transitioned there?
Scott, you follow college football as much as anybody, and you and I probably have similar feelings about him. I mean, he was a polarizing figure, an electrifying figure. You know, early in the year, I kind of used a comparison that he was kind of the Barry Bonds of college football in 2013, not comparing him to potential steroid use, but just with Bond step to the plate, whether you loved him or you hated him, it was like, I can't stand that guy. What, he's up this inning? Okay, hold on a second. I can wait to leave the room. You want to watch him swing the club. Right. And Johnny Manziel's the same way. Whether you loved him or you hated him, you were going to tune in to watch him play. He was the it player in 2013, and whether he won the Heisman or not, he was the guy that made everybody get excited about the sport, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. And you know, I think the other thing is he helped, as you said, Texas A&M was in a transition period going from the Big 12 into the SEC, and that's a big step to be able to ask a team to make that kind of jump. And I think he helped them be able to do that. And I think he and Kevin Sumlin will be remembered for these first couple years, and they've really set the table, I think, for A&M to take the next step of trying to compete in the SEC. And this may sound crazy. I just want to say this. In one way, Johnny Manziel is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of player for a program like Texas A&M. And on the other hand, I think maybe there's a little bit of a celebration that the circus and the craziness and the drama is behind him. Yeah, I think he's done. I think he's going on to the NFL. I think it's time for them to move past this, and I think all the outside noise that was associated with his career, I think in one way they're going to take kind of a big, deep sigh, kind of a big breath and say, we love him, he did so much for us, but at the same time, we're ready for that craziness to go by us, and let's try to build this program without him.
That's an interesting thought. It makes a lot of sense. As they transition in College Station, presumably, because I'm with you, I think that's the last we'll see of him as a college football player, they'll transition as well in Happy Valley. Penn State, Bill O'Brien moving to the NFL News. We were reporting a little bit earlier tonight. If you're on the advisory board for Penn State and they say, Herbie, who's the guy? Who's the guy?
You know, I think it's easy to look at Greg Schiano. He was a guy while he was at Rutgers. He was a name that continued to come up as a potential candidate to replace Joe. This was, 4, 5, 6, 7 years before Joe eventually stepped down. So I think his name, despite the struggles down at Tampa, I think his name will surface. I think Munchak, who's been in the NFL and is a former Penn State player, and the work that he did, with Tennessee and just being around the NFL, I think his name will come up. But I think Schiano would be a great fit. I don't, again, whenever I say these kind of things, I don't have any sources. I'm just saying that who would fit into that community and who could lead them and really go out and recruit very well and help kind of take the baton from where Bill O'Brien has left it and maybe try to take it to the next level now that they're in the middle of this NCAA probation period and try to get out of it. I think Greg Schiano could do a good job for him.
I know you're on West Coast time right now, but I know that wake-up call is coming early, so happy New Year in advance. We'll see you for game day, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. local, then the Rose Bowl. Look forward to seeing you out in Pasadena for the title game next week, Herbie. Thanks so much for the time tonight.
All right, buddy. Take care. Again, Happy New Year. Take care.
You as well. Speaking of the Rose Bowl, Stanford and Michigan State, two physical, rugged football teams. Defense has been really the order of the day in many bowl games. You'd have to presume that would be the case as well. The Rose Bowl tomorrow, 4:30 Eastern time.
Manziel leaps over a guy still on his feet. Manziel, Labhart.
What Tech and Steel are to Smith and Wesson, John football is to Texas A&M. We relive his most magical moments, including tonight's magic. Ken Griffey Jr. made some incredible catches in his day. Straight ahead, see proof that the gift of grab was passed down to the next generation of Griffey. Yeah, that's my boy, Blue.
Hey, man. Hey. What's with that crazy hat?
Oh, you didn't hear? Outback's giving away free bloomin' onions when the SEC wins the Outback Bowl.
Oh. Because I heard they were giving away free coconut shrimp when the Big Ten wins.
You look ridiculous.
I look delicious.
Yeah, you do.
Come in January 2nd to get your free bloomin' onion or coconut shrimp. Whether your team wins or loses, everybody wins in the Outback. That's no rules, just right.
Down here. How can I help you, big man?
I'm looking for something to make my party pop off.
Check out the Beats pill. I'm portable, but don't let my small size fool you. I'm loud. And when I say Bluetooth, I'm not talking about my beautiful hue, baby.
But will it make my party pop off?
This is some mythical unicorn stuff, man.
R.I.P.